So as we was kind of talking about last week, Journey Together has been out just over a week now. It came out obviously last Friday, and the prices are interesting to say the least. We have seen the biggest decline of a set because, to be honest, it's relatively easy to complete in some aspects. Now, obviously, there's still some expensive cards. It's not as if it's just a couple of hundred. We're still talking a few hundred at a minimum. But the pull rates seem good. The packs are in stock places. And to be honest, I've been seeing more and more people trying to offload their product for cheaper and cheaper. Being met with a £67, £70 ETB and being told where you can go and throw it. It's actually quite nice that we've actually got product on the shelves again. Now, obviously, it's not like we're absolutely beaming of packs, but most definitely there is a considerable amount more in comparison to your Prismatic Evolutions. Now, obviously, we were naturally going to get that scenario. Everyone's got to remember Prismatic was a special set. There's no booster box. It is purely just product, and that's about it. There's no single packs that you would be able to get. So most of your, if you're in England, post offices, your Asdas or something like that, where they would get a half sleeve potentially, they don't stock them because you can't get them. Booster bundles are not something a side shop or kind of your convenience store would actually have. So let's get into a bit of Journey Together then, because I'm always interested to see the price charts and where things have gone. So straight off the bat, I want to see the booster box because, to be honest, I think the sealed product is still there. It's not crazy, but it's still there most definitely. When you look at the difference between an enhanced product and also a normal, you can see at the moment we're looking at about $229. In pounds, you're looking at around about 210, give or take. Now you can kind of see, we saw last week, so what date are we looking at there? We are looking at the 29th is when these actually came out of March. In fact, I can't even see that yet. Oh, there we go. Can I see that? There's 24th, there's 28th. So it's kind of just before there. So this is realistically where we was at on the sales. Like completely, this was on release day, practically. Now, obviously, since then, we have dropped a little bit. All of this as well, just to show you that this is all pre-orders. So naturally, they were always going to be lower to start with because distros and all of them people were buying the kind of product through. So it would always come up a little bit lower. Now, the month graph is kind of where you're at, really, because you can kind of see on the 29th, this is when the set came out. This was pretty much what we were looking at. It was the 29th, wasn't it? No, it was the 28th, in fact. Yeah, it was the 28th. So if we are looking at the 28th, in fact, it's practically the same, give or take. But you can see since then, we are dropping considerably, which is always nice because it just shows you that we are going in the right direction with this set. Now, when it comes to packs themselves, I've just completely clicked out of that. Okay, I suppose we've got everything here. You've obviously got the booster box and booster packs that you can get. Booster bundles, I don't believe are out in England as of yet. They do come out in a slightly lower release. And obviously, for me personally, I'm just after getting all of the promo packs. I would kind of like to have one of each product in each set. So having a kind of Yanmega, a Scrafty as a sealed collection point of view, naturally over time, like getting one of the sleeve blister packs, which I don't know why these are considerably more. Obviously, you've got the Journey Together booster packs and then the sleeved, in fact, it's $710 versus $676. To be honest, I've been finding it at $399, not a problem. Now, I don't know if America's the same, but to be fair, I could see more of this. I could see a lot more people not buying a considerable amount at that price. Now, it isn't necessarily walk into every shop and you can find 20, 30, 50 packs, 100 packs. You are still having to kind of scour through, and people are getting more and more of the half boxes, which are nice. So you can kind of almost kiss that goodbye to a $10 pack, which is absolutely fantastic. And I think if you took the advice from a long time ago, like a lot of people were saying, is always be careful when pre-ordering. We see the same with the Destined Rivals now, which I think will be a little bit different. I do think that set is going to do very well. But even then, you've got to always be careful of what you wish for, because who knows if the print or the reprints are going to have a major impact. We are also getting already announced a Mewtwo box, which will have Journey Together and also a little bit of Destined Rivals. We've also got a Gardevoir, I want to say, box with a bit of everything: Stellar Crown, Twilight, Journey Together, and also Destined Rivals. So that's already kind of going into them sets of having more of these packs available as well. It's not just going for obviously the kind of one set only, and that's the problem with Prismatic. It will only come out as a Prismatic pack, so you kind of got to go through it with what you kind of know. Now, looking at the singles, because obviously when you look at the products, so you kind of go through the products, you've got your booster boxes, they're pretty standard. I don't think they're going to drop heavily. They might drop a little bit more, but I don't think they're going to go too crazy down. Like, you might find some at MSRP, but I mean, it's still going to be more expensive than MSRP. Obviously, when you look at the Elite Trainer box, you've obviously got the Pokemon Center having a massive correction at the moment, which is always fantastic to see, because you just know that half of the people were getting it for obviously selling straight away, and then half that have got it for actually collecting it, which I'm always applauding. Even if you want to keep it to sell it in the future, it's not necessarily the scalping of trying to double your money straight away, which hopefully people haven't. That's going to be the big thing. But from there, then you've obviously got the normal ETBs. To be honest, I don't think there's necessarily a massive need for the ETBs, hence why, again, there is a massive drop off, as you can see, kind of prior at 122, dropping now all the way down to $76, getting closer and closer to the MSRP, mainly because there is a booster box. Now, obviously, if scalpers are some of the people that I see going through the shops and not knowing what set has what, they might have questioned why Prismatic didn't have a booster box, but why Journey Together does. So then that's always going to be interesting to see. And booster bundles, obviously another one that is going to be fantastic. It's that smaller hit packs that you get 6 in, and you obviously don't have to pay the same kind of massive price of a booster box if you kind of just want a couple of packs. So that's always a great product as well. At the minute it's a bit expensive, but obviously it will drop down as it does come out in England as well. So I don't know if that's going to have a massive kind of difference in price for the moment. We see the blister packs, actually see plenty of these, so really, really nice to see. I didn't even know that you could, oh, okay, yeah, I suppose it is Scrafty. You've obviously got a lot of promos if you're a big collection of the promos, which I personally like to get them, just purely on the fact that I like to do a booster box, an ETB, and then kind of one of every product, kind of get the promos, and then I can either keep them or not. So then from there, the singles in the boost into Journey Together are the interesting point of this. So if we are looking at it, you've obviously got the likes of the stamped Reshiram, which you obviously can get stamped and normal, depending on if you've got the enhanced box. Articuno, which I am waiting for that to drop because it is a beautiful card and it is slowly coming down, which is nice. The one thing I want to know is, could I get a price list of this? Because it's always nice to see the full price list of this in TCG, but we can kind of go with price charting as well. It kind of gives us an overall theme as well. So let's have a look at this one. So obviously Lily's Clefairy is taking a massive downward spiral at the moment. We are just seeing a complete dip. On one of my apps, I've saw it at about 190 at the moment. So it is always interesting to see that go through such a downwards trend. Obviously it was one of the big cards of the set, and it still most definitely is. When you look at it across the TCG, you've obviously got it coming in at 201, which is just huge. Like it's I don't know where it's going to actually end, as to be honest. I think when we look at some of the cards, I question why they're worth the value. I think this one's quite a good one, to be honest. I mean, Salamence I'm a big fan of. I think that is still a very, very good card, but I don't know if I could quite agree that it's a £100 card. I get that it's obviously a SAR, so it holds a little bit more merit. On here, we've got it 144. We've got 129 on TCG. Obviously, that's going to come in again at a massive dip. We can kind of see there is a few more being sold. It was one of the ones that I've managed to get right now. We're currently on 2 SARs. We've obviously got Iono's Belly Bolt, and we also have Salamence. So I might even put a video up of obviously having my collection as well in any part of this, so going through what I've currently got, as I am trying to do a master set of a lot of the Scarlet and Violets. It is just a little bit of a progress, trying to pack as much as I can before then I have to go out and potentially buy some singles. But we've done pretty well with the alt arts and the SARs, so I'm pretty happy with that focus. But then we kind of come down to the normal illustration rares, because naturally you've got your SAR, so you've got your Lily's Clefairy coming in at like 201, you've got then Salamence coming in at 129, 110 for Zoruk, 98 for Bellybolt, which I am surprised at. I really thought that one would do well, and I really thought Zacian would do better. I really didn't think Salamence would be second in this list. I thought it would probably have gone like Clefairy, Bellybolt, Zoroark and Zacian, then obviously Salamence. And you look down here a little bit more, you've obviously got Volcanion coming in so much lower, $40 at the moment for the final SAR in the cheapest one that I'm really happy I haven't got, because I'll happily pay for that one if I could just go and get a Lily's Clefairy. Obviously then you've got a couple of the gold cards. You've obviously got the Spike Energy or Spiky Energy, Iono's Bellibolt and N Zoroark. Everything's down. That's kind of the big be all and end all for it. We have seen the Ends Reshiram and Articuno, also then the Whale Lord kind of coming out as the better illustrations, which to be honest you could have probably guessed. We then got some trainer cards, which are nice. They are, again, seeing the absolute floor at the moment as everything is going down. Now, like we said before, this is going to be a set that is worth having a look at, because everybody is going to be opening this up. With the pull rates that we've got currently, I can see why all of this is so much cheaper. It's absolutely crazy. The Furret card, if that drops down to like £3, you need to buy everything. I've got two, and it's incredible. It's a great illustration rare, and even most of them, to be honest. Like, I love the Kilowattrel. I think it's such a cool design. It's, again, it shows the difference between a Furret, between obviously a Kilowattrel, then even like the Whale Lord perspective, the Volcanion perspective as well, and even some of the EXs are doing pretty well. Like obviously Zoroark coming in at 768, and then Clefairy coming in at 748, which is nice. I personally really like the Wooloo as well. I think that as a cheap card, if you're looking at a £1, £2, £3 card, you just buy all of them, because genuinely it looks really nice. Same with the Lycanroc. I really do like the colours on that. I must admit I was a big fan of it in Japanese, as the colours really do pop, which we are seeing in this set, that the full arts are just none the one to go, really. Obviously the Bellibolt's quite a consistent one. Love a bit of Blaziken, and that's when you kind of go through the normal set, which is coming in relatively cheap. But I would suggest, when looking through the likes of this journey together, you definitely want to hold your nerve with it. Don't go out and think, okay, well, just sell everything now because it's never going to rise again. Sometimes it's a long game. The one thing that you're going to find is, as we go through these peaks, like we saw with Prismatic, the problem you have is if Destined Rivals does come out a hot topic set and it's not printed enough, everything else follows as well. The day that Prismatic came out and went off the shelves, everything went with it, because everybody knows once one's hot, everything's hot. It may not be to the level of a double or triple price, but it's most definitely going up in comparison to MSRP, because if you can't find it, you've got to go to them. So definitely always wait before you kind of panic on this. Unless you've bought it for a crazy amount of price, then maybe you've got to weigh up your odds here. If you've bought an ETB or a booster bundle or booster box, for instance, for say 180, 190 pre-order, maybe thinking it was going to be a little bit of a harder set to find, then maybe cut your losses, because I feel like it will be a while. Otherwise, a long hold will still do well with this set. It's going to be a set that everybody wants to finish. It's an easier set to finish, or it feels like that in comparison to your Surgeon Sparks, but I can see some of these cards rebounded. Naturally, when we look at kind of the partnered cards, it will be interesting with the future sets, and once they go out of print, to see where they do end up. So they will be added to the market watch list. Make sure you are checking. I want to know, how far are you on this set if you are completing it, and how many cards have you had to buy, because I'm looking at 3 of them and they're looking pretty expensive back at me. But let me know what you think, and take care. Peace.